Get it, girl.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited. This is week 2 of our Tale of the Diamonds, and Connie and Carly are with us today, and um, we're just celebrating them, their accomplishment on hitting diamond, which is a ridiculous accomplishment. I think like it means once you hit diamond, you're like top 2% in the company, which is crazy. So Connie and Carly both have very different stories, but I want Connie to start and just kind of tell your story about how you got started, and your road to diamond.
Okay, so I joined March of last year, so I've been in for about 13 months now. My leader, Kelsey, reached out to me through Instagram, and I honestly didn't believe in the reps in the beginning. So I became a loyal customer first because I wanted to prove her wrong that these reps didn't really work. I became a loyal customer, and at that time we had almost like the referral thing where you would refer somebody to the link that came up on your page, and then you would either get a free box of wraps or it was like $35 product credit. Well, I ended up getting 3 boxes of wraps, and then I tried a couple of them, and I believed that they didn't work. I mean, I took pictures. I messaged Kelsey one day, and I was just like, hey, by the way, your wraps don't work. And she's like, what? Did you take pictures? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, send them to me. So I sent them to her, and she did the little collage and sent them back, and she was basically like, they work. And I was like, oh, they do work. Okay, so she totally proved me wrong. And so then I think I watched her for about a week, and her page just interested me, and she just was like having so much fun. She was so happy. There was just this positive vibe like rolling through Facebook over to me all the way out in Arizona. And so I just messaged her one day, and I said, hey, I'm signing up on your website. And kind of just out of nowhere. So I signed up, and I hit diamond a month early. So I think I hit it in like a month and a half. I mean, Ruby. And so that was really quick for me, because it was something that I had no idea what I was doing. I just jumped in with no idea of like where I was supposed to go, what I was supposed to be doing. I mean, Kelsey was a good leader, but I hit that really fast. And then that was basically boom season. So right now, a couple months in, I think it became rough, I guess, because it was just different for me. And I think I struggled a little bit. I mean, just being honest, I did struggle for a couple months. And then the beginning of this year, something changed in my life. And I know it was because like I started like believing in myself, but not also believing in myself, but knowing that like I put God first. And some people, I don't know if like some people have done that or not, but I know a lot of time in this business that, that's what's helping everybody in this business. And that was something that I didn't necessarily believe in because like I didn't come from that background. And then I put that on my dream board, and I think that's what pushed me so much to get to diamond from the beginning of the year till now. And now I put my business in God's hand, and now my life in God's hand, and I just feel like I've seen a huge change since I've decided to do that, and I think my business has never been better.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I feel like, it started almost like when you came out here. I think it was like the end of the year, or maybe like towards the end, when you came out here, wasn't it? I don't remember when it was, but we like went to that team meeting, and we always have like come to Jesus talks, but like just like really believing in yourself and like knowing that you are worthy. I think that that's just something that you struggled with. Like you hit Ruby and you were like, oh my God, like I didn't even think I could make it this far. And it was almost like, how do I even make it farther than this if I didn't even think I could make it this far? Right. So like, what did you do to like change that mentality? I mean, obviously you said like God was a big part of it, but like you obviously had to be doing some sort of like self-development in order to realize that you needed something even. I feel like the biggest problem for a lot of people is they don't even realize that they need the help as bad as they do, as far as like listening to self-development and improving themselves every day. So like what kind of like changed for you?
Before this business, I mean, I didn't even know anything about self-development or the self-help books or anything like that. So every morning before I went to work or while I was getting ready to for work, I just had, like a YouTube playing. And I think the first one I started with was the one that you're playing right now. And that's kind of was like the beginning of my journey for self-development. And then I've had some videos sent from you. I've read some books. My attention span is really, really short. So I listen to like the Audible versions of it on the way to work and on the way home because I have an hour drive to and from. So I take advantage of that time and do a lot of self-development.
Hold on. I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
So just a lot of like taking in all of that.
Uh-oh.
Being stuck in my head in a way, a huge help for me, and a step in the direction to realize that I am worthy and that I am worth more and like my future's worth more, because my background is like my mom was on food stamps and housing when I was growing up, so I feel like that's where my work and just live for working. And this business has brought me to realize like I'm more than just a 9 to 5. It all over again the next day.
Yeah, for sure. Your connection's cutting in and out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to come back because I have some questions that I want to ask you. But Carly, tell us a little bit about your story and, what your road to Diamond looked like.
Okay, so you actually added me on Facebook, Kelsey added me on Facebook last year in July. And I got this friend request from this girl, and I'm like, I have no idea who this chick is. Like, but she's from Indiana, and I'm from Ohio. Maybe I know who she is, and I just don't realize it. But I'm like, she's super pretty. Her family's adorable. What the heck? So I accepted her request, and I kept seeing all of her posts, about the business and products and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what the heck is this? What is she doing? Like, what is this about? And I've never really knew much about network marketing or anything like that. So, but her posts just were so appealing to me. So I finally reached out, and I initially reached out. I think I reached out at first to be a customer. Like, I was interested in some products, but the more she kept posting, I finally decided to just join in September. And this was completely out of the ordinary for me. I didn't even tell Derek, which is my fiance now. He knew nothing about it. I just kind of made the decision to just join. So I joined in September, and I feel like I didn't take it too serious at first. Like, I kind of had a slow start. And then Derek and I got engaged in October, so that was a lot of excitement happening and still not knowing what I just did as far as joining the business, but I was still excited about it. And then I don't really know like what, it kind of sounds funny, but I feel like I also feel like it was the beginning of this year that something kind of clicked with me. And then once the closer I got to becoming Diamond, the more I felt like an actual leader, which, I mean, you're kind of a leader basically as soon as you join this business, I feel like. But for me personally, I didn't really take on that role until about a month ago. And I feel like that has completely changed my mindset. It's like, holy crap, there are people like coming to me for questions as far as like, new distributors are coming to me and asking me for help. And I'm just like, holy crap, I'm a leader. When did this happen? But I feel like that's really helped me as far as like keeping me accountable. And, I have which I think you're part of it too, but I have a group chat going on with some of the girls, and that's been super helpful as far as staying motivated and continuing that leadership role. And I just feel like my whole mindset has changed within the last month or two.
Yeah, for sure. So, were there any points in the business where you were just like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I feel like a lot of people go through moments when they're like just frustrated. They feel like they're not getting any results, like they're not sending customers, or they're struggling with distributors or whatever. And so just, what kind of struggles did you go through as far as like battling mentally? Like, okay, is this something that really is for me? And like, kind of looking back and laughing at those moments now, because you're like, well, what if I would have quit? Like, what in the heck? Where would I have been?
Right. I think it was definitely still towards the beginning, because like I said, I joined in September, and I think I signed a few customers, like my mom, just kind of basic closer people. And then, getting engaged in October, I feel like that was like life happening, and I just, like, that's obviously a big deal when that happens. So I was more focused on that. And, my first paycheck my first commission check, because I started in September, so my first commission check was in October, and it was only $25. So I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? What did I get myself into? But so that, I feel like that was kind of my, I feel like I always took quitting off of the table. Like, that was never an option. But I feel like definitely in the beginning was my biggest struggle.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I think too that's like it for a lot of people. I think there's like a statistic that say like 90% of the people who quit before they've ever made $500 in the business. And I think, like, what would be your advice just to people who do want to quit at the beginning and like just feel like, maybe I'm not good at this, maybe this isn't for me? Like, what would be your advice?
Definitely just stick it out and stay consistent. I mean, take that time. At the beginning, it's so overwhelming, and I mean, I still get overwhelmed at times, just like trying to stay organized and stuff like that. But if you just stick with it and stay consistent, take the beginning to just kind of soak everything in, just learn, follow, the top leaders and stuff like that, and kind of learn the products and stuff like that. I feel like if you feel like you're struggling in the beginning, just learn from that, as far as just use that as like a learning time, if anything. And then once you feel more comfortable, I feel like your business will start booming.
Yeah, for sure. Connie, what do you think like the biggest thing as far as like becoming a leader, that has it, like, what have you learned as far as like that goes? Because I think like a lot of people they don't join, and expect leadership to happen. They're kind of joining for extra income. So like, what would you say, Connie, to somebody who's like really lost, like as far as what it takes to be a leader?
I would say, like, just know that people are looking up to you, and there are people that, follow you and need your help in the end. So don't be too hard on yourself, because it only takes a little bit to be a leader. And you don't have to have 10 or 20 people under you to feel like a leader. Having 1 or 2 people under you will make you a leader. It'll make you stronger if you start with 1 or 2 people and not wait until you hit a bigger rank and feel like now you have to be a leader. You'll start small and grow there. So, I mean, I would just say, just take it little by little with the little people you have under you. Even if you don't have anybody, you still can be a leader to sidelines or something.
Yeah, for sure. And I think too that like, acting as if you already are a leader, it's going to make you a leader. Like, right. Just even if you don't have one distributor under you, knowing that like you're going to eventually. So like, you better start like leading from the front and like acting like the person that you want to attract to be on your team. And I think like for me, like the biggest thing I tell like my emerging leaders is like, you guys need to ask for advice, because like leadership is not natural for everybody. Like, it's not a like just inborn trait. And like, once you join, that doesn't mean you're always necessarily a leader. So Carly, what have you learned in that aspect? I know you said recently you just kind of started feeling like you were a leader. What do you think you do to lead your team every day? Like, what are some things that advice you would give to people who are you are trying to help become leaders? What advice do you give to them?
Mainly to touch base with everyone. You always want to keep in touch with all of your distributors, whether they're, no matter what rank they are, whether they just started, whether they're, the same rank as you, just stay in touch. And then, like I said, I have a couple of group chats, and I feel like challenging them and doing like little contests and stuff like that, just to make it fun, but still, still doing stuff that they need to be doing. And I always tell them, I'm not asking you to do stuff that I'm not doing myself. It's not like I'm trying to be a teacher and say like, hey, go do a live video real quick. Like, I do that too. It's not, I'm just, I'm not telling them to do anything that I wouldn't do anyway. But
and one of the things that I think like your group chat like is awesome is like you guys always like shout out whenever you guys get a customer or distributor. And so it's awesome because, you're putting what you get in there and they're putting what they get in there. So they see that you're actually signing people too. And it's not just them. So they kind of know like, oh my gosh, I got to keep up with so-and-so, or like you even might feel that like sometimes it's like, damn, like I can't let these people, get more customers or more distributors than me. So I think, just being like a real person as a leader, like you were saying, like just being there is like one of the most important things, and letting people know that you care about them. That is a huge aspect of being a leader. And people, you do that by spending time with people on the phone, through messaging, and all that stuff. But I just think it's so important to view yourself as a leader before anybody else can. If you don't think you can lead, then nobody else is going to trust you with that either. So making sure that you mentally prepare yourself and engage and know that, hey, you know what? Like you said, these people are looking up to me, and these people like need answers from me, and I might not know the answer, and that's okay. Just because you have all the answers does not mean you are a leader. You lead by example and by showing people, what it takes to be successful. So Connie, what is kind of on your 6 list or like your to-do list every day to kind of grow your business? And how do you kind of train your team with that too?
On my success, I think one of the main things in the morning is my self-development. When I do, sign somebody, or, if somebody's added to our team, I do share at least the video that I started off with, because that's how I got started. So why not share with, how my journey started. The other things on my 6 list is adding to my network. So I'm not sharing to the same people every single day. And I have more people looking at my page, messaging, following up. What is that? And then my motivational post in the morning is something that I do every day, is like one of my first posts. And it's not only just for like the other people, but it's also for myself, on top of my self-development in the morning, because I feel like if I'm starting my day on a positive note and people are seeing that as well, then it's going to start somebody else's day, so I'm actually affecting other people in a positive way than what the world is in a negative way. What else do I do? Follow, message up. I kind of get active on my Facebook and my Instagram, just so my page is popping up on other people's pages as well. So it's not like if I'm just posting and not interacting with other people and they're not, seeing my page.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. I think like that's so important to be like, obviously posting, messaging, following up, making sure that you're adding to your network and doing your self-development. Those are definitely key things. Carly, does yours look pretty much the same as that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, well, not to copy Connie, but that's pretty much yeah, I was the same though, as far as I never really knew, not that I didn't know what self-development was, but I never
practiced it.
I never practiced it until this business. So I've always been more of like a reader. Not that I don't listen to stuff, but so I've been reading self-development books like Steve Harvey. Obviously, he's the man. So I've been reading some of his books, and I also do the same thing as Connie. I start every single day with a positive quote or like picture or something. And I've actually had a lot of feedback with that. Like, some of my coworkers or just people that I like know personally, they're like, oh, I always look forward to jumping on Facebook in the morning and seeing what your positive post is. So it's just like, it's cool that people are like actually looking forward to that and they actually pay attention to it, even if they don't necessarily like it or comment or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Expanding the network, messaging, following up.
So do you feel like, what do you feel like the impact self-development has had on you as far as like, because you said you didn't do it or you weren't even that familiar with it before. What do you think the impact self-development has had, like not only on your business, but on like, your life?
Is this for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I just feel like I've been kind of changing as a person overall, just more positive and more definitely more confident just in general, with the business too, but I don't know, I feel like this business has literally just made me a whole different person. Like I don't know what I would do without this. So
yeah, I know. And you've lost a lot of weight too.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. And that like helps too with everything, obviously being a product of the product and like feeling better about yourself, like physically, and then also like changing mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody and I was like, how you like eat healthy and you go to the gym, like that should be like, that's what self-development is for your brain. Like
mm-hmm.
You have to treat your brain like it is the most important part of you, because it is. So just making sure that you're kind of like, training your brain to do the things. Because I think that one of the hardest things when people get in is helping them like see what this company can actually do for them. Because it's crazy, like what you can do. And like, I know when, before this, it was like, I don't want to think about like what new car I'm going to get because like, it's so expensive. Like it's a stressful situation. Like, and just now like having that freedom to kind of talk about finances freely and talk about different things without the stress of, that impacting what decision we make, is huge. And so I think that like casting the vision for new people is so important and helping them see, what this business is about and what it can do. So like one of the things that I've just recently started doing is kind of sending my newer people like a book. And the one that I normally send them is The Magic of Thinking Big, because we're not taught that anymore. We're taught to like kind of hope for the best, but expect the worst almost. Right. And I know that Brian is always chips in. He's like, hope is not a plan. But anyway, so
heard.
So, but I think that, just making sure that we are like instilling that in our new people, because it's not normal to think like we think in this business, to go for the no, to be okay with the rejection that people might initially feel, because you're confident enough that they're going to come back to you eventually. Like literally whenever I message somebody and they say no, I'm like, it's funny, you'll be back around, like it's fine. Or I'm going to friend all your friends, like nothing personal, but either one. So Connie, like, what do you think, like obviously self-development helps that. And that is like the most important thing. But as you see that change in yourself, as far as like feeling worthy and knowing, that God is at the forefront of your life, like how do you help new people kind of see that?
My excitement for like the self-development part and the just changing personally and in your life mentally, I feel like that's more of what I give off than the money aspect of the business, just because it changed me so much in the beginning that's what I'm excited for other people to change, especially if they come from not a similar background as me, but a similar background as me, to know that there is more in this world. There is something to look forward to. You don't have to either one, live on food stamps for the rest of your life or live on housing, but know that you have something to look forward to. I forgot your question.
Just like, how do you help new people? And I think you answered it just by saying, when you are talking to potentials on the phone, you're not talking about the money as much as you are talking about the change and positive impact it's had in your life. The expectations, and I think sometimes that's true when people get in. And I even have like a lot of new people tell me like, well, I don't have the success story you have, or I don't have, that $10,000 bonus or whatever it might be. And I'm like, but that's it's hard when you do, because I do feel like whenever I tell people my story, they think that that's like normal, and they expect it. And so I think what happens is they get discouraged if they don't go as like fast as what I told them that I did, or they think, that all this money is out there to be made. And so what I've recently been doing is I recently tell people, like, my first paycheck was $34. Like, my second paycheck was $150. Like, this is not something that is going to help you this month, like, as far as finances go. It is a totally different mindset. Like, you have to see the vision. Like, you have to. And what that is going to do is that's going to help you get tougher. That's going to help you be the person that is ready to receive those $10,000 bonuses, because that person that you are right now probably isn't. Like, you probably go below that, And so I think that really helping them talk about that before they even join the business, is an awesome like point, just to say, like, stop making it so much about money, and they will stop making it so much about money. As far as like, stop complaining about when they get their first paycheck, or stop complaining about the couple things. And obviously money is a huge incentive, and they see that you're making money, right? That's why everybody, reaches out or piques their interest. But I've also had people reach out to me and just be like, hey girl, what are you doing? Like, why are you so happy all the time? And because like of the motivational quotes you guys are talking about, or of the positive things that you're always posting, or the positive outlook, like, I remember one time, like, Brian drove down to Indy and we left Max's car seat in his car. And so like we had to borrow something from the neighbors, and like usually I would have been like totally panicking and like in the worst mood and blah blah blah, but I posted about that, not to complain, but I posted about it just to say, like, oh my gosh, like stuff happens to me, like I'm a normal person, and like I didn't even complain about it. Whereas like I feel like the old me would have been like, oh my gosh, this day is the worst day, like posting a negative status on Facebook. And people don't want to be a part of your life if that's how you are. There's enough negativity in the world. And I think when you are just a positive light that people see, they're attracted to that. But you guys have to find that in yourself. Spend some time alone. That is the best advice I've ever received, is spend some time by yourself and be a person that you would want to hang out with. If you don't like spending time alone, it's probably because you don't really like or even know who you are, because you're so busy trying to get everybody else to like who you are that you don't even know who the real you is. And so I think like once you find that, once you become comfortable with yourself, then you can have a chance to grow, and then you can have a chance to be more successful. But that is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned. And, obviously you don't want to get like too deep or emotional on potential, because then they might run away. But I'm always like, I always literally will tell people, like, I know I sound like I'm preaching to you. Like, they probably think I'm a freaking like pastor or something of some crazy church. But
Awesome pastor, by the way.
Do what?
You'd be an awesome pastor, by the
way.
way.
Oh my God, thank you. But it's hilarious because I was telling somebody that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't mean to like talk at you, I just have, and she's like, you're just passionate. Like, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, I just have a lot to say about this because of the way it has impacted my life. And I can't just say it in like one sentence, or I can't just say it in like, whatever, like I need, and that's what I encourage you guys to like get on the phone with people. And I think that like them feeling your energy is so important, because that really is going to help you seal the deal. Okay, Carly, what is one tip you would give like your former self when you joined that you wish you knew like right away? Guys, we didn't prep these questions, so don't blame them if they don't know what to say.
Right. I'm like, probably staying consistent, because like I said at the beginning, you're so overwhelmed that you don't know kind of what you're doing. I mean, you can learn stuff as you go, obviously, but like at first I'm like, I don't know what to post or when to post it or how to post it or how to word it and stuff like that. But definitely just staying consistent, because at the beginning I wasn't, and I could have, looking back, I don't want to say I should have, but I could have promoted to things sooner had I taken it seriously and stayed consistent. Obviously I can't go back and change that, but
and what's like one thing that you feel like you've helped you the most when you did get started? Like, what was like one thing that like always kept you going? Like even in those times when that were tough, like what was it that kept you going and kept you from not quitting?
So this is, you might laugh at this, but like it's fear of fear of disappointing you. Because I know that sounds ridiculous, but just because I remember at the beginning, I know you had there were a few times where you actually called me and you were just kind of like,
tough love.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, I did not want to keep getting those calls. And it's not like because I was like scared or anything. It was just like, it's kind of like when you disappoint your mom or dad and they give you that look. And that's what I felt like. Not that I feel like you're my parent, obviously, but I'm just like, I have got to step it up. I do not want Kelsey to keep, kicking my ass via tough love. So that was kind of a motivator for me. So
that's funny. That's good. That's funny. She's never told me that, you guys. So it's hilarious. Okay, Connie, what about you? What do you feel like you wish you would have known, and what do you feel like kept you going, like when the times got tough?
I think the one thing that I wish I would have known or been more confident in, like, myself and knowing that I am worthy of this and that, I can be successful, because I think just like my background and stuff, I just feel like there was nothing that I could ever be successful at. And that, like I said, that 9 to 5 was what I was going to do. And one thing that kept me, see my attention span this whole
squirrel. What do you think kept you going, like when you felt like at the core of you, like you wanted to quit?
Not really giving like my family the upper hand of telling me like I told you so and proving them wrong. Then one of the things was what Carly said too, is like having to call you if I was gonna quit or something and letting you know that, like, that would have been like my hardest call, would to call you and just be like, all right, like I'm done. Like that was another thing that kept me, but Carly already said that. So one of them was like proving my family wrong.
That's so funny, you guys. It is funny too, because I know, like, I don't like making those calls to anybody, because, and I'm not like mean. I don't want you to get it wrong. Like, it's not like I'm calling them and yelling at them or telling them they need to do better. But I think the thing that's really hard is, like, every time that I have to make that call, I have to remind somebody of their struggle. That's what I do. I remind somebody of the reason they joined. I remind somebody of their struggle. And you know what? If they quit or if they don't do it, they're going to be in the same situation that they were when they joined. They're not leaving me a better person. And that is not my goal. My goal is to help everybody that comes into contact with me become a better person. Like, that is what I want. And so I have those conversations because I know I'm disappointing them if I don't give them the time to have that conversation with them. So if you have a team member that is not pulling the weight that they expected to, or that they wanted to, or the goal that they told you when they invested their $99 that they wanted to hit, and you guys aren't reaching out to them, then shame on you. Just because it's hard to have that conversation, it is hard. Like, it stinks. But at the end of the day, you owe it to them to have that conversation. It has nothing to do with your business. And you do not have to talk about how it affects your business or your chart or anything like that when you call them. You need to make it about, you know what, Carly, like, I'm so excited about you and Derek getting engaged, but do you know what? You're going to have a wedding to pay for. And I want to make sure that, like, you are keeping this business, because this can really help you pay your wedding. And I know that that's not really what you want to think about right now, because you want to start, celebrating or whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, if you don't, then, like, I can't help you. And I think, and I really want to, and I never talk about how that affects my business or where she is on my chart or what that's going to mean for me. All I'm doing is I'm talking about what she told me when she joined, is that she wanted just to help take she wanted to help contribute more to their relationship and to her own financial income, and financially partner with Derek even more. And you know what? When you get married, that's even more important. And when you're engaged, it's even more important. And so I have to remind people when I'm talking to them about why they joined, so that they can have that motivation. Because you know what? If I tell them, like, hey girl, like, you're that diamond on my chart that I need for triple, like, that's not going to do anything. They didn't join to make me money. Nobody, like, they joined to help themselves. And so when you really are invested in those people and when you really care, those conversations are going to suck, but they are so worth it because it is not about you. It's about them. And it's about reminding them why they joined and saying, hey, Connie, you know what? Like, I know it sucks when your family doesn't fully support you all the way, or when your sister, who eventually joins the distributor, told you that she was going to unfollow you from Facebook. Like, I know it sucks. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying that like, oh, that's awesome. No, but what I'm saying is like the reason you joined is for you, not to please any of those people. So you need to keep going. And you know what? I feel like you're letting that affect your business. So having those tough love conversations aren't for you, you guys. They're not for your chart. It's to help those people who gave their $99 because they trusted you with it. Even though they didn't give you the $99, and hopefully you made $99 from the fast start, but they are spending the time, the effort to after trusting you. So don't ever take that for granted, and don't forget, and don't make it about you when it's not. You are invested no matter where that person is on your chart. If they are personally enrolled to you, to help them become better. And whether that means this is the business, and I have people leave my business all the time. And sometimes I really do feel like it's their time, but I will tell them, I'll say like, like I feel like it's sometimes my fault. Like I had a girl quit the other day and she was just like, I just feel like it's not for me. Like it's not been working out. I've been in this for 6 months, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm really sorry. She's like, it's not your fault. But like, I feel like that. And you guys should feel that. You should feel that when somebody leaves your business. I'm not saying it's always your fault, because, we always have kidnappers and those people who just don't respond to you. But I'm talking about the ones, that really talk to you, and they, you want them to succeed. Like, you need to have those conversations with them. Your job is to not be their friend all the time. It is to be their friend, but it's not just to be their friend and be like, okay, like, good job when you haven't signed an LC or you haven't completed your steps to success in 4 months. So I think just reminding people of that. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I'm literally going to get off my high horse now. Okay, Connie. So moving forward, like, you hit diamond now, and like, how do you get your, because obviously diamond is like a really big goal for everybody. So how do you kind of get your mindset to the next part of being like, okay, I need to keep going, versus being like, I've arrived?
I'm not working a 9-to-5 for the rest of my life, so I need to be like double before I can quit my job. So I'm looking forward to something, and when I hit that, then I'll look forward to something else with that extra income, because like I said, I'm not working a full-time job.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So like, cause Connie like messaged me like the day after she would die, and she's like, okay, here's my double chart. I love it. And you're already charted for double, so you're off and running. You're going to promote this month an additional $30,000, which is just insane, in bonuses. And I'm just like so proud of you. So congratulations. Okay, Carly, what do you think you've done to kind of keep yourself motivated and being like, okay, double, like, here we go, we need to keep going?
Well, the bonus obviously helps. But kind of the same thing as far as like, I like my job, but it's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. Not my like Monday through Friday job. And it's kind of, for me, I'm competitive with other people and myself. So for me, it's like, okay, I hit diamond, but that's just another check mark on the board, or another run scored, or however you want to look at it. So it just makes me want to, because I didn't even think I would make it this far. I mean, Ruby was my initial goal was $500 a month. So it's like, the more I see each paycheck, the more it motivates me to want to get more than that, which essentially is promoting and, doing that. So
for sure. And I think too, like, I was kind of the same way, because at first, when you're like, oh, Ruby. And I feel like a lot of us, I was having this conversation with this girl, cause I asked her, potential. I said, what's your average, what is your goal income each month? And she was like, well, I mean, like, is it crazy to like say diamond? And it's because everybody else is like so not trained to like reach high, because they don't want to like fall and disappoint themselves. Right. And so when you first get started, you don't want to say like, I want any more than $500 a month, because you don't even know if that's possible, right? You're just like still skeptical a little bit of even, not even necessarily of the company, but you're skeptical of if you can do it and blah, blah, blah. So I think that like, you know, making sure that everybody is redreaming, and you're helping your team redream. You're helping your team, you know, get to that next dream and make them realize like you haven't arrived. Like, okay, like I know you didn't even imagine this was possible, but you just got more in your bank account than like you've probably ever gotten in one paycheck. So what else do you want? Like, keep dreaming and like allowing people to think bigger, because it's not natural. Like, it's not what society teaches you to do. And so I think that as leaders, we need to continue to do that. We need to continue to like making sure we're doing that as well. And keeping, you know, our team's dreams a priority too. And knowing that like when you promote, what does that mean? That means your team's promoting. That means you're helping other people promote. And that in and of itself is exciting enough and, you know, should be motivation enough to keep everybody else wanting to promote. So Carly, I'm so proud of you too. Like, you have just blown me away. Like, you two like are probably two of the people that have grown the most. Like, I've seen the most growth from like day one till now. It's just insane to see like your guys' personal development and like how it's changed like so many different aspects of your life, and not just the business, but like in every other way as well. So congratulations to both of you, and double, here you guys come. Thank you guys for joining. Bye.
Thank you.